Big thanks to JVR Air Conditioning for sponsoring this video.
Alright, welcome to the Overrise Podcast.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, who are we here with today?
Adrian Gorrostieta, CEO of Step Shoe Retailer located in Naples, Florida. Yeah.
So, how did you start this business and how did you get into sneakers?
So it's funny because I always had something for shoes as a kid growing up. I always liked just collecting them, cleaning them. That was the one thing that really got me into it. And when I was a kid, I used to just go to the bathroom and just start cleaning them with like a bar of soap or whatever, and just started growing on me. And I eventually I just started collecting shoes, and it became more of just not even an addiction, because a lot of people it's a misconception, I would say, because a lot of people, they're like, well, I start off collecting shoes and then I get addicted to buying them all the time. Well, funny enough, I mean, when you're a kid, you can't do that, it adds up. But back then, retros were obviously a lot more affordable. I think they've gone up a lot more now. Obviously inflation, everything right now, everything's pricey. But when I started, it was kind of just like growing on me, cleaning shoes, and then started becoming every weekend type of thing. Like when I have my free time, just chilling, because phones weren't a thing back then. They weren't big. But I just started like looking at those magazines that would come in from like Nike or like East Bay. I think it was like soccer.com. That was a funny thing because I played soccer. So I always just looked at shoes, and then it kind of just grew on, man. That's where it kind of moved forward in it.
Well, did you have a favorite pair of shoes?
Funny enough, I actually always liked the Jordan 5, the retro. Jordan 5 was always one of my favorites growing up, and just kind of became as an adult now. I mean, I don't wear it as much. I think it's more of a comfortability thing because I'm always on my feet walking around the store. So, but yeah, Jordan 5, I would say.
How much money did you use to start up this specific store?
So, I would say the startup cost is the most expensive one for what I do. You don't have to start with the crazy amount of shoes. You can start with as little as under 100. I opened this store actually with about 70 pairs. We opened it August 1st, 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic. It was the craziest thing. I mean, kind of risky because it's like nothing's guaranteed, in business. But right. Especially in a pandemic, it's scary. I mean, I was 20 years old at the time. you open a business at 20 years old, and you're just like, okay, I guess it is what it is. But I would say I started it with 60 pairs, right underneath about $30,000 in inventory. After remodel and everything, this place didn't look as nice as it does now. It's taken almost 3 years to get to this level it's at now. But I think after remodel and starting costs and everything, probably about pushing close to $50,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what's your story on opening this specific location?
So the story behind this was obviously, being born and raised in Naples, everything's pretty pricey down here. It's not that cheap, I would say. But I needed to find a place that I could, mold a business. I feel like the one thing that matters the most is structuring it. When I started, it's scary because it's like you don't know if anything's going to, you just don't go into something thinking that it's going to fail. Obviously, you got to have a positive mindset. But when I started it was scary because it's like, where in Naples am I going to find a spot where I can actually afford it at the age of 20 years old? And you got to remember, we're in COVID. Like, this is still COVID prices. Like, they're not even giving you a cut. I think when I had looked, around that time we had seen a spot, and it was like $5,500 for probably like a 1,200 square foot spot, and it was a brand new plaza. But I was like, man, I don't think I can afford that at 20. It was like, how many shoes you got to sell to make that? So and obviously your margins aren't the same when you start. So it was just picking the spot was kind of like my brother told me, he's like, hey, have you ever been to this storage unit spot up on Airport Pulling Road? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, there's storefronts. And I was like, let's go check it out. So I came one day, and then I was like, okay, this looks kind of different. It looked kind of like weird from the outside. You walk into a store, you just pull up into a storage unit, and you're like, what am I doing here? And then you look and you're like, okay, this is kind of weird. But the story behind actually finding the spot was just my brother. He told me about it, and then kind of just rolled in and spoke to management, and they were like, hey, we don't have a spot right now, but we can get back in contact with you. And they actually didn't get back in contact with me. The manager actually lost my card. So it was just funny because I would just look for different spots in town, and I was like, yeah, there's no way I can afford that. And then I rolled back in like two or 3 months later, and I was like, hey, I came a few months ago to the office and I spoke to you. Do you still have like my contact information. He's like, I actually lost your card. We actually had a spot open up last week. And I was like, what? So it was just like, it wasn't meant to be. I mean, that's just life. I mean, when things aren't meant to be, they just don't go your way. I mean, sometimes that's how it is. But I ended up actually making, I think, a big deal the next day in Tampa. And he was like, yeah, I'll get back in contact with you. I gave him another card. And he calls me when I'm at the deal. I'm selling some shoes. I'm selling like 15 pairs at a buddy's store up in Tampa. And he goes, hey, I've got that spot you were looking for. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, it opened up. I was like, awesome, I'll be there tomorrow. And he just told me how much I had to put down. I was like, I've got it. Let's do it. So that's kind of how it all kind of took place.
So did having to, obviously when you moved into this plot, you have to do a lot of work. How long did that take you?
So the thing was, I mean, I wasn't working at the time. I mean, really, no one was. Think about it. Besides, I think my father was working. My mother was working, and I had like a cousin of mine. He helped me put up all the sheetrock. My brother's a contractor, so he was in and out. I mean, trying to help me as much as he could, but he had his clients. And I told him, I mean, obviously, do what you got to do. Go make your money. Just tell me as much as you can what I can do. And I just learned. I mean, the foundation of this place was it's all concrete cement building. Thankfully, it's a very safe building. Actually, it's actually one of the safest structures in Naples. I would say the building's been here since 1969 or 1970, around there. So they did a good job with the foundation. The only thing that's the downside is there's no water lines. So everyone always asks, "Hey, is there a bathroom?" No, there's not. It's a storage unit. Yeah. So they don't make these for people to live in. They make them for storage. But, everything's all concrete. We put sheetrock layers all over the whole thing to insulate the store so it would cool with the AC. And, yeah, I mean, I used to have one of those, like, window ACs up in the door right there. There used to be, like, a door, and it looked super ratchet, man. It was a starting of something small, but, yeah.
Well, it's cool because, like, you just walk in. It doesn't even look like a storage unit. It looks like a storage unit from outside. You come in, looks like something like Fifth Avenue or something.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. I mean, the goal was really to make this feel almost like if you're just shopping anywhere, not to make it feel like you're in a storage unit. We do like the concept of how it is, how everyone describes it from the outside. Hey, that shoe store in the storage units. And it's funny because, obviously there's always going to be negative feedback. I mean, you can't please everyone. That's just life,
Of course.
But I don't really care, man. I mean, when I started this thing, I was just like, all right, I'll see what I can do with it, run with it, and make the best out of it. Just had a positive mindset and gotten us this far.
Did you always have in mind to have these type of shoes in the store, like designer shoes?
I would say, yeah. I mean, the word that I like to use is exclusive, because there's a lot of different releases all the time within like Jordan brand. You got like Nike. I mean, Nike and Jordan, they're together technically, but you've got like Nike Dunks. You've got a lot of like Nike releases that come out. And some of them will actually, they'll have a great resale value. I mean, obviously, Kobe, rip to him, rest in peace. That was a great, they had a great run for many years. And his shoes, I mean, they still have heavy resale value. Those have always been, they weren't as heavily resold back then. But with all these exclusive shoes, it's exciting, man. I mean, there's always something new every week. Right. It's like you look forward to it. It's like going to a candy shop.
Does this store have exclusive access to some types of deals, or do you have to go through the same thing processes that everybody else?
So, I mean, we generally run, I mean, everyone always asks this, like, do we ever have sales? It's very difficult to try to mark down a shoe that, it's like the resale is up there, and I mean, obviously we like to give deals all the time. All of our followers on social media, they know. You subscribe to that story, the story post, you get some of those steals weekly. We generally will post things like, generally for steals under $200, or if not under $300, they eat them up, man. I mean, I don't think I've had a steal on the story for less than 24 hours. I mean, they can see it.
For these shoes, like that, those prices are pretty rare, actually.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people don't understand, but most of these shoes, they retail from anywhere from, $225 now to $300. A lot of the Jordan brand releases, they've obviously gone up. I mean, retros used to be anywhere from like $160 to $170. I mean, even Jordan 1 lows, they used to be $90. Now they're going for like $110. So, if you can get a shoe for, gosh, if I can say $200 to $300, that's pretty dang good now, man. I mean, times have changed. So.
Well, do you make sales from conventions, like steer conventions?
So, I have when I was actually starting the business, we actually did go to a few conventions. We did, I think, like 2 or 3. The problem is that my main priorities have always been customer first. I absolutely like appreciate everyone all over the country that's tried buying from us. But my main priority has always been Naples, Florida. I really have always catered to my clients here. I'm born and raised here.
Yeah.
I love this city. I wouldn't really ever leave this place. And part of the reason why is because I have this connection with all of my clients and all of my friends. I've grown up in 3 different zones of Naples, so I know a lot of people. But my main priority has always been, let's take care of what we've got. Let's walk before you can run. And for me to actually want to close up my shop and go and sell shoes at an event, it took us, I think we did it once, and that was the one and only time we'll ever do that, because nothing upsets me more for myself, thinking from a standpoint that if I'm at an event and my cameras are going off and I have people showing up to the door, I'm just like, man, I wish I could have been there. And it was at a stage in our business, my business actually, where we had to do that. We had to go to these events because, sometimes the traffic wasn't there. We're in a storage unit. And people overlooked that, that we might not have traffic. But, yeah, at first your business isn't booming. It's not going as well as you want it to go. And, we had to do that. We had to go to events. We went to 1 or 2, and that was it. I think that the one we kind of like just closed the store, and we just said, I'm going. And I had staff. I had 3 or 4 employees at the time, and I had my employees stay here and watch the store. And, we had like probably 60% of our inventory here. We had some that was with us at the event. But, we sold some there and we sold some here at the store. But, that one time that I went and I saw my cameras going off and I saw like 2 or 3 people walk up. I had a kid walk up with his parent, and I was like, man, I have these kids that are wanting to go to my business, but I can't cater to them right now because I'm here at this event. So I saw that happen, and I was like, yeah, no, man, I can't do this. It honestly, it kind of was like a jab to me, because it was like, when I was a kid, I would look forward to going to Sports Authority with my dad. I don't know. Sports Authority was a spot in town. Yeah. So if Sports Authority were closed and I get there and I'm like, dang, why is Sports Authority closed? I look forward to going there. My dad would tell me, hey, we're going on Friday or Saturday. And I waited all week to go, and then Sports Authority's closed. I would get upset, So it would kind of bring you down a little. So when I saw that happen, especially the kids, they definitely love this stuff. So, to me, I have to be here all the time. I can't close shop anymore. So we did that once or twice, and that was it.
Oh.
It's definitely a unique store in Naples, because in Naples, I guess the crowd is mostly elderly people.
Yeah.
So, this is very different.
Yeah, so it's funny because we have so many young kids that, like, you'd be surprised, man. There's a lot of young kids here in Naples. You got to think about, like, there's like 8 high schools now. There's a new high school going up. So, Aubrey Rogers. There's going to be like 8 high schools in Naples. A lot of people are moving here. And, man, it's a lot of young kids. I would say my demographic in here is anywhere from, like, 14 to 38.
Wow.
we have some of the greatest, most loyal clients ever. I'm blessed, man. I can't complain. I started something out of nothing, and now everyone's definitely appreciating it.
How do you do all your marketing besides social media and Instagram? Because I know you do.
Yeah, so funny enough, we actually have had now, I believe we had our original Instagram account when I actually opened the business, when I started it about 4 years ago. Now in August, it'll make 4 years. When we started it, it was online-based Instagram only. And that account, when we got to, I think, our 2-year anniversary, or no, it was actually about a year and a half. Our Instagram account, the original one, got taken down. We had like 12,000 followers. Till the day, I don't know why it got taken down. I personally think that it was just people reporting the page. I don't know why, but I don't really spread hate, just positivity around here. It's not really much to hate about. This is a shoe store, man. Yeah. But yeah, our account had getting taken down. I wake up one morning to make our everyday post on our Instagram, because I run our socials. And I go to post, and it's like, log in. And I'm like, okay, let me just log back in. It's like, your account is not like registered. I was like, what are you talking about? So I just panic. I'm like, what's going on? Like, the account's gone. Like, I go to like look up on my personal page. It's like, the account can't be found. And I'm like, dude, I just lost everything. Like, I lost all my clients' communication. I can't get in, because a lot of our clients are always on their phone at like after work or on their lunch break. So like, they would message us, and I would look forward to that. I would see that every day, but we weren't getting any like notifications or anything. So I wake up in the morning, I have like no notifications. Every morning when I wake up, I have like anywhere from 10 to 15 notifications every morning.
Yeah.
There's like 3 or 4 messages, like a bunch of likes, a bunch of like comments. And I was like, dude, this is gone. So yeah, back to that question. Instagram, I mean, has been our main focus of advertising this, and then just word of mouth. Facebook, I think I paid for like some ads, but I mean, most of these kids aren't on Facebook, you know.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's on Instagram. I mean, everyone said like try to use Twitter. I'm like, Twitter's not really a spot for this. I use Twitter personally. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I see it for like sports updates, but I mean, that's pretty much it. But
So yeah,
Marketing,
knowing
Instagram.
your location, most of the marketing comes from Instagram, correct?
yeah, I mean, the marketing for this isn't really difficult, I would say, because Naples is very small. So yeah, it's
Nobody
gonna
else does this.
it's gonna grow like wildfire. I mean, and you actually look us up in Naples. You look up the best shoe store, we're gonna pop up every time. You know, because we've had so many Google reviews that just say, you know, we're great. You know, what we offer, the selection, customer service. That's been a main priority for me. Being young, I mean, people come in and they're like, "Who's this young kid behind the counter?" You're actually speaking to the owner. So yeah, it's funny. I mean, a lot of people walk in and be like, "Yeah, I mean, can I speak to the owner?" I'm like, "You're speaking to him." And they're like, "What?" But yeah, I mean, that's how it is. It's funny.
What's your thoughts on like StockX and other resellers like that? Because they, I don't know how to put it, but like in a way, they kind of take your take some competition.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've got nothing against competition. I'll be honest with you. If you can't compete, that's just that competitive mindset in your, you know, you got to have that in your DNA. If you just want to be surrounded and just achieve better things and be greater at what you do, you got to have competition. It's going to make you better. But for me, I mean, I've always just lived by the standard as control what you could control. I mean, that was taught to me by Bill Kramer. I mean, I played football at Naples High School. So Coach Kramer always said, like, listen, control what you can control. And, I mean, listen, it's going to make 10 years this year in August since I played my first freshman year of football at Naples High. And I'll never forget Coach Kramer always saying that. Control what you can control. And, I mean, I've always controlled what I can control. And that's, you know, the foundation of this business has always been, you know, 2-3 things. I mean, sell, customer service, and just be great at what you can do. I mean, there's not much you can do other than that. But StockX and Go, like, I've got nothing against them. The one thing I would have to say is, you know, have better people around you so you don't have those errors, you know. StockX has had a lot of issues with their authentications. You know, they pass a lot of items that are inauthentic, and that's just their problem. They can fix that. They can go out and hire a bunch of sneaker like businesses, owners that, you know, authenticate shoes in hand every single day. I mean, whether the owner wants to do that, that's on him. Goat does a great job. They actually, I think they actually are part owned by Flight Club. Flight Club's been one of the largest, you know, they've been one of the largest shoe businesses that have done a great job over the last 20 years. Flight Club, they do great business. I mean,
And Goat's marketing is almost all.
yeah, I mean, and Go and StockX, they've kind of like just became the marketing expert. They're all over social media. I mean, yeah, I mean, their content is nice, but I mean, if you're advertising something nice and appealing, just because it's nice doesn't mean that it's authentic. I mean, you know, you got to know what you're doing. I mean, the problem with them is that they just have a lot of people checking their items. I mean, with us, the only person checking the items in this store is going to be me. And if you're going to get a pair of fakes past me, I'll take it. You know, and we've never had that. Thank God, knock on wood, you know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, hey, but I mean, I'm on my A game. I mean, every single time that a shoe comes in, no one else is buying it. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to pull a fast one and try to come in when my employee's here, try to pull the fast one. I'll just give you the fair warning. He's not going to buy the shoe because I'm going to send the payment. It's going to come out of my form, you know, of me saying, you know, hey, it's good, it's real. But no, I won't even buy a shoe even if I'm not here and they send me pictures. I just won't, unless I've done business with you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And here, do you have your own process of inspecting the shoes? And
Yeah, so it's a process. I would say that generally when shoes come in, we have our packages that come in large boxes all the time. Most of the time, we'll get anywhere from 10 to 20 pairs a time. I mean, a week we'll generally get anywhere from 10 to 30 pairs a week, and I'll go through every single one of them. I'll make sure that left foot, right foot. I'll make sure that both shoes are, you know, they're meeting a high quality standard from Nike or Adidas, you know, or any other resale valued shoe that we might get. I'll go ahead and inspect it, and I'll make sure that the box, the paper, everything's right. And if it doesn't meet the qualities of being authentic, I'll just not pass it. You know, for me, I've always been, you know, I don't cut corners. I make sure that everything looks right. If it has a scuff, I try to, see if I can get it off. Because, I know a little bit about restorations, but if I can't get it off, then it's going back to the seller,
Yeah.
If it's not from Nike, I can't complain to Nike. If we hit on a pair from Nike or Adidas, hey, Nike or Adidas, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. But if it's a reseller, I'll send it back. And most of my guys, they understand. These shoes, they're going on the shelf. There's a lot of clients that they like to make sure their shoes look great. They have no scuff marks or anything. But sometimes those shoes they're coming from Nike or Adidas. I don't have control over their defects or, when they're making the shoe. It's a lot of labor that goes in. So you can't make every shoe perfect. I tell my clients, if I wanted to or if I could, I would make every shoe perfect,
Do you have exclusive access to some shoes in the store, or do you have any connections to some of the companies that source these shoes?
Yeah, so I definitely got me smiling there because, connections are a big thing.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of access to early pairs, yes. I can get pairs 3, 4, 5 months before the general public does.
Wow.
Personally, do I like to do that? No, I don't, because, one, I don't like to look like that person that's trying to just, be cooler than you or just have the pair early. I don't care. At the end of the day, we're all equal. We're all human beings, So for me to go out and get an early pair, I've done it before. It's a big risk because you're obviously going to pay a higher value price ticket item to get it. But listen, man, I like to be equal with everyone. I like to, if someone's going to get a pair a week before me or 2 weeks before me, I don't care. But I'll try to get some maybe a week. If I get early access on Nike, I'll do it.
What shoe did you get?
So funny enough, it was actually the Yeezy Quantum, the basketball shoes. When those had first came out, this is a few years ago, I had a connection that I had gotten them early, and the price ticket item was insane. And this was my biggest, I think this was my biggest eye-opening experience where it was okay, yeah, I think the early access thing, it's a big risk because sometimes you could get stuck with it. You might think that it looks cool, and then, you're like, dang, I just bought this shoe for this much. And then the market value just went from that high to, down here. So
It's a risk.
Pardon me. Yeah, it's a big risk. I think I've gotten 2 pairs of bariums, the Yeezy Quantum bariums. I think I paid $1,600.
Damn.
Yeah, and there were no boxes, so they're no box
Oh,
shoes.
no boxes.
Yeah, no box shoes. Because early pairs are usually no box shoes. So I had gotten 2 of them for $1,600, and then I don't know, no one just liked them. They just weren't hot. And the thing is, they were super comfy.
Yeah.
No one liked them. And it was Yeezy products, they were hot, man. They'd fly. And I guess it was just that one Yeezy product that just no one wanted.
Well, speaking of hot and what's a style, what's the shoes that are trending, does that affect your business? For example, the Oreo Dunks, they're usually trending. Does that usually...
Yeah, the Panda Dunks, they're very popular.
The Oreo Dunks.
Yeah,
Pandas.
it's the same thing. Everyone calls them Yin Yang, Panda, Oreo, whatever you want to call it. Man, they have so many nicknames now. They've released it over 100,000 times. They release them every month now, every 2 weeks on Nike.
Yeah.
Listen, man, they're doing a great job. I can't complain. Nike has really set a standard. I respect Nike for everything they've done. I've got zero complaints to them. Their customer service is great. They've really done a great job, even going back to when Tinker Hatfield was really their lead designer. The man is the GOAT. I look at him as the Michael Jordan of the shoe industry. If there is no Tinker Hatfield, there is no Michael Jordan shoes. People don't pay him enough respect. I
Tinker
definitely
Hatfield.
do. Tinker Hatfield was the creator of the Nike Air Mag from the movie Back to the Future.
Oh.
The creator of the Nike Air Max, the Vapor Max. He's the reason why there's an air in the Nike shoe. That air bubble, he was the lead designer of that idea and that concept. So,
wow.
Pay my respect to him. But having all those shoes in store, I wouldn't say that it's an issue when, there's new releases and as far as if someone else gets them. But, we generally get pairs right away when they release. Our social media is so powerful. We have clients all over. They don't have to be in Naples. They'll contact us and be like, hey, I've got this shoe. I want to sell it. I just hit on Nike for retail. I'm like, okay, awesome. When you get it in hand, contact me. I'll buy it. But a lot of clients, they like to negotiate with me when the shoe comes out. I'm like, listen, I can't give you a number now because the market's obviously going to be higher when it first comes out. Now, let's say, and I like to be very straightforward with them because the thing is, I'll be brutally honest. The shoes generally will be higher on release day. Sometimes they'll go down, sometimes they'll go up. But when they do go down, when they get them in hand, it's a win-win for us because the value's less. But I want it to be a win-win for the client, because let's say if the shoe, when they receive it, it goes up $300. Hey, you're making more money now. So I'm not against you making more money, because I know what I can get for the shoe. I'll pay you more money. I'm all for everyone making money. I pay people's bills every month. They come in at the end of the month. Hey, I've got to get rid of these shoes. Awesome. I'll cash you out, take cash, and go pay your bills. But nothing against that.
Yeah.
More inventory for us.
So you just have a lot of customer love. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that the customer love definitely comes from loyalty.
Yeah.
When you build a connection with your clients and you can sit there and have a 15-minute conversation with them when they're shopping, or even a 10-minute conversation, and just ask them how their day's going. I mean, they see that. I mean, a lot of clients, they know who you are as an individual when they come in and they see your demeanor. When they see how friendly you are, they see the vibe. I mean, it's a vibe in here, man. It's very difficult to not, accept the vibe in here. And I have clients that come in and they'll just come out and hang out with me. I mean, they'll just stop on in, see if there's inventory. Yeah. I'm here 40 hours a week. I put the work in, and I'm going to make sure I put the work in even 10, 15 years down the road. You won't see me taking days off. I only take one day off, and that's when we're closed out of season. So, yeah.
What's the shoe in this store that has the most story behind it, you would say?
Oh, man. Right now, I've had some in the past. I actually had to let go of one recently. It had a great story behind it, because it's funny, because it was one of those shoes where it's like, man, like, do I get rid of it? Do I not get rid of it? It's been coming up on a 2-year anniversary, I think, or maybe, 2 years it had been released. It was a Jordan 1 Travis Scott Fragment High. I had it about probably a month ago. And for the longest time, I was like, I'm just going to hold it forever, because I got it for retail. Yeah. And this was funny, because this was a manual entry on Travis Scott's website. And I got it for retail. I paid $236. Resale value for that shoe hit like $4,000 on release day.
Damn.
But it took about a week and a half for it to arrive. So when it got here, the market had gotten, I think, like $3,800, $3,900. And obviously, that's an expensive shoe.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's a down payment on a house. So I was very cautious with, like, trying to sell it at that time. And I was like, man, is this shoe going to go up, down? I had a buddy that actually offered me $3,600. And I was like, should I take it? Should I not take it? The market was like $4,100. Yeah. And sometimes that's how business is. You could take the loss. It wasn't really a loss for me. It was a win. But it was like, dang, $3,600 going for $4,100. I think I can get $3,900 for it. Maybe $4,000. But I passed up on his offer. Great friend. Funny enough, almost 2 years later, he actually hits me back up. He's like, listen, I still need that shoe for a client, because he has clients that always want it. And I was like, okay, fine. What do you want to offer for it? He actually ended up paying under $2,000. So he got it for about anywhere from $19,000 to $2,000. I would say it wasn't a loss for me. I don't care. For me, I look at it from a standpoint where that shoe was sitting in my store for 2 years almost, and I had clients that were walking in just to see that shoe.
Wow.
Back to that, that story when I was a kid. I go to Sports Authority on a Saturday, and I look forward to going there with my dad, because he's like, let's go to Sports Authority. And I have kids that are coming in with their parents just to see the Jordan 1 Travis Fragment. Like, that's awesome. If we have that outreach to just have people walk in and just look at a shoe in person, listen, fine by me. For almost 2 years, we had people walk in. If I took a loss for $1,900 just to have people walk in, you're taking the time out of your day to support a local business, to support what I've started. I'm fine with taking a $1,900 hit, because your time is money, and for me, I don't care. I'll just sit here and just have you look at the shoe. I don't, I've got to be here 7 hours open every day, so I'll take it. Yeah. So, but that was one of the biggest stories, I would say, because I hit for retail and it was going for that much. But sometimes you just got to take your losses. I mean, I don't think it was a loss; it was a win. I definitely had a lot of clients that walked in and saw the store.
And do you have a favorite sneaker, like, of all time?
The Jordan 5, the retro, the Jordan 5, the off-white. I would say the off-white Jordan 5. Great question, actually, because he asked that earlier. But all-time great shoe, my favorite, the off-white muslin Jordan 5. Yeah, it's just such a great detailed shoe. I mean, pop up a picture. So yeah.
How does your yearly revenue look like for this store?
So my yearly revenue, listen, man, it's been every year we have a great increase. I would say that obviously starting one from our COVID year to now, our revenues increased, I would say 50%. Definitely.
Wow.
It's gone up a big amount. COVID year was solid. It wasn't bad, but it's a 50% increase from almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we this year, compared to last year, from that, as of last year, last year in December, from COVID year to December last year was a 50% increase. I would say that as of from COVID to the end of this year, December, we'll have a 75% increase. It's going to be, it's been nonstop. I mean, we have some slower months, but December this year, or January, pardon me, this year was a mega month, like just as good as Christmas month for December. I mean, listen, I will say I'm blessed. I'm blessed to say that whatever I started when I was 20 years old, actually 19 when I started this business, I would never think that we would get to the heights we've gotten in 4 years. It's phenomenal. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like, in my opinion, the best sneaker store in Naples. I walk in, I don't see any of these shoes
Listen,
in any other place.
I've heard that a few times. Listen, I'll take the compliment. I appreciate it so much. I just like to stay equal with everyone. I mean, I generally, I'm humble enough to say that, listen, I don't care if you've got the same shoe stores concept as me, but I'm going to stay level-headed with you. At the end of the day, we're just human beings.
Yeah.
We've been put on this earth to do great things. So to the other shoe stores out there, I applaud them for taking the time, putting that effort into actually opening something, because it takes a lot of time. It's not easy. It's scary at first. I mean, so if you can make it past the first year, I'll congratulate you for sure, because it's definitely not easy. But all those competitors, man, I give them props. I mean, it's not easy to stay at the top, but I will say we're staying there. We stay right in the median. Yeah. We're just a small business.
Have you ever thought about opening like another store in Naples or like in any other place?
Great question. It's in the works.
It's in the works?
It's in the works. Yeah. If Naples ever comes down a little.
Oh,
yeah. It's in the works. I mean, the goal's always been new location. It's been in the talks since day one. I knew that this wasn't going to be it. I mean, everyone loves this location, but I will tell you, this location will forever stay open. I'm going to keep this like my little cherished baby.
That's
keep
great.
It here. We're going to keep it here and make sure that everyone has the shopping experience in a storage unit. Listen, all the storage unit haters out there, It is what it is, man. I appreciate all the support. We've had a lot of love and a lot of hate on Instagram Reels, and it's funny. I mean, it's almost a book. We have a reel that blew up. It had like 400,000 views.
Oh, wow.
And it was crazy because it got like over 400 comments. And, man, the internet's kind of scary, man. Some of these people are funny. They're funny, man. Some of the comments that people say, I use it as motivation, man. I don't look at it.
You should try advertising on YouTube Shorts as well, because those things do very well, especially.
So the YouTube thing, it's funny because when we were going to those events back then, we were like full team vlogging style, man. We had a little crew that was with us, the staff, and we had a video guy. Shout out to my boy Kenny. He helped me start that, and actually, Noah. Give credit to Noah, actually. Noah was actually our first filmer. We started filming with Noah, and then Noah got busy. He had work. Everyone has a life, man. I can't emphasize that enough. Like, priorities, set your priorities straight. I had friends that were helping me out, and obviously I'd throw them deals all the time if they wanted a shoe or something. Here, take the shoe, or clothing item, whatever. Try to help everyone. Feed the ones that have starved with you. I mean, so that was the thing. Noah helped me out. I helped him out as much as I could, But yeah, everyone gets busy with their life. Noah helped me for, I think, 4 or 5 videos we started, and then Kenny kind of took over. Like, we started vlogging again like 4 or 5 months after. And Kenny helped me, and we started vlogging at events. And it was fun, but man, it's a lot to, go to an event and YouTube and then try to have a camera in front of everyone's face. Yeah. Like, some people don't like that, But I respect it. The shorts thing, I should. I'm nothing against advertising more. Nothing.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of these different shorts channels that I'm seeing. Like, there's this one guy who's a suit tailor from Hong Kong or something that's blown up.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's also these jewelry store guys from New York just posting on YouTube Shorts about them making deals and things like that, and just looking at the jewels. And I mean, these are stores, the small stores in these towns, and they're just blown up like nationwide just because of these YouTube Shorts, and now everybody wants to.
Yeah, I mean, social media's taken over everything, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I imagine if you started doing that,
power.
man, like people from around the United
yeah, I
States know
mean,
about
I
this
might have to
store.
start doing it, man. I've got nothing against it. Listen, the most powerful thing that people don't realize is, we've got a $1,500 phone in our hands all the time. I mean, iPhones are super expensive now. I mean, if you can make content off an iPhone, I mean,
Like
you're
that.
doing a great job. And the quality of the cameras are insane. So nothing against that. I'll have to look into it. Maybe I'll make some YouTube shorts. Maybe I'll take the time to do it.
You have like a lot of shoes right here, but do you have like any more inventory that's not shown here in the back?
Yeah, so what we carry in store is everyone's favorite. We do have stuff set aside. We do have access to hundreds of thousands of pairs of shoes. If anyone ever wants a shoe, we can find it. I think I've got the fastest turnaround time. It's something I look forward to. It's almost like an itch. Like if you say you want a Nike Air Mag or you want something that expensive or something that special, we can find it.
Wow.
We have the power to do that. I personally have over 100 contacts, like just in shoe industry, that I can give a call to and they'll answer and they're ready to make money, man. It's all about money. No money,
Yeah.
no money, no shoe. But when you've got the money up front, money is everything. I mean, that deposit, we can make things happen.
Well,
So, yeah, we have access to other things. Not everything's in store. We do have stuff set aside in storage. Yeah, not in the storage, but yeah, set aside. So.
well, in your estimate, how many shoes do you have in this whole entire store in total?
In this entire store, so this store is only 600 square feet. We have on the wall close to 300 pairs. I mean, you don't need an insane amount of shoes to display. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the one thing everyone doesn't understand. You walk into a store this small, I mean, it's a lot to take in. I mean, in 300 pairs, it is a lot of shoes.
That is
That's
a lot of
of money
shoes.
invested in shoes. People don't understand that, and at first it was kind of funny because when we started with like 67 or 70 pairs of shoes on the wall. Now we're pushing close to 3 on the wall. So, and we have some displayed that are behind display cases that are more expensive, but it's a lot of money in shoes. And being 24 years old and having over $100,000 worth of shoes in person, I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So on the shelf, it adds up. I mean, we get new things all the time. So, yeah.
What would be your recommendations for making connections in this type of industry?
Man, my advice is go out, meet people. You can meet plenty of people all over the world, especially Naples, Florida. I mean, some of the most successful people in the world, entrepreneurs, are insane down here, man. They've paved the way for their families.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even their families that have passed before them have paved the way for them. But my advice would be go out, meet entrepreneurs, go to any social gathering and just network, man. Meet everyone. I mean, I've got nothing against meeting new people. I mean, I can talk to anyone. You just ask me the question, I'll give you an answer. But go out, meet people, go to shoe events, go on YouTube. The power of social media is in front of you. There's resellers all over the internet that are teaching you how to resell. I mean, even if it's not for resale, if it's for collecting purposes, go out and meet new people. I mean, life is too short, man. But when you can meet all these connections, it's the best thing you can have. It's powerful. You can just pick up the phone and call someone. I love the concept of connections because we had a client actually this week come in, and she came in right before we closed, and she was just talking to me about how she loves this shoe and she wanted to buy it, and she bought one similar to it this week from a reseller on Instagram. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, that's cool. I've got nothing against other resellers. I support them. They support me. They resell me all the time. But, pardon me. She had told me, hey, I bought these shoes from a reseller on Instagram, and I don't even have a tracking number. It's been 4 days. The guy hasn't contacted me. And I was like, yikes. Like, who's the reseller, if you don't mind me asking? She's like, oh, here's the reseller. Shows me the account. I'm like, great. She's like, is there anything you can do for me? I'm like, of course. I see that I have a mutual follower that follows him. Great friend of mine. I see that he follows the guy, and I'm like, okay, let me just pick up the phone and call him. She's here in front of me, and I'm like, all right, we'll make a phone call. So I call my buddy. He's up in Chicago, and I'm like, listen, bro, I've got a reseller that sold a client of mine a pair of shoes. She has no word from him. You follow him on Instagram. Do you know him? You ever done business with him? He's like, never done business with him, but do you want me to contact him? And I'm like, of course. Find out why he hasn't shipped my client's shoe to her. And he picks up his phone. He sends him a message. He's like, hey, why haven't you sent this person her shoe in Florida? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, here's a picture of the account. I send it over to him. He sends it over to the reseller, and he goes, oh, how do you even have this contact? I'm like, listen, man, we just want to know where the tracking is. He's like all paranoid. He's like, it's all about who you know, right? So I pick up the phone, and my buddy was just like, listen, calls me back, and the client's still here, and he goes, he's going to ship the shoes in the next 24 hours.
Wow.
You'll get a tracking. And that's just the power of knowing who you know, and so you got to put the work in for that. But that was a good contact that I met through a friend that I actually met through social media during the pandemic. So, yeah, there's a trail to every shoe. You don't know where that shoe's been. I mean, some of these shoes travel from 10 to 15, 20, 30, 40 resellers. So it's a crazy market, man. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Or do you ever plan on going internationally to find real exclusive shoes?
I've already done it.
You really?
I've already done it, yeah. Been there, done that. Yeah, I've traveled to South America for the Jordan 1 J Balvin, the first release, the Jordan 1 J Balvin. We flew to Colombia.
Wow.
We flew to Colombia, and we actually got our pairs from the largest reseller in Colombia. Yeah. Shout out to Ross Kicks.
Ross Kicks.
He's actually now he's located up in the East Coast. So he's doing his thing. He's reselling still. He was one of the greatest connections I made. Great friend, great guy. He was just, I mean, it was funny because one of the guys that I actually met through Instagram, social media again, guys. Mm-hmm. The power of social media is insane. I had a client that was from Colombia. He had contacted me and said, listen, I want to buy these shoes from you. And I'm like, okay, let's work something out. He's like, hey, the J Balvin 1 release is coming up. Do you need any pairs? He's like, we've had access to over 500 pairs. And it's different because in Colombia and South America and different countries, it's not the U.S. You can actually pay someone $30 to $40 to stay in line and wait 15 to 16 hours. The average pay a day is anywhere from $20 to $30. So when you can make $40 and you're 16 years old for waiting overnight with your friends, camping outside of a store just to get a shoe, you'll do it.
Yeah.
And they'll even feed you. The resellers are feeding you like food. So when you can get a bottle of water and 3, 4, 5 slices, maybe 2 slices of pizza. I mean, exaggerating 3, 4, 5. But if you can get 2 slices of pizza and hang out outside with your friends,
I wouldn't mind
16
that.
hours, why not? Right?
Yeah.
You're catching up. It's fun. I mean, you can fall asleep. You can literally just hang out. But most of these guys, they'll wait like 15, 16 hours. For that J Balvin release, it was so crazy. I mean, there was people outside the mall that were trying to get in. They had to block it off. They couldn't let you in. But I had guys that waited 16 hours. 16 hours to get the Jordan 1 Balvin, the J Balvin. I mean, and the guy that I got my pairs from, I think he ended up getting like 400 pairs. It was insane. It was insane.
Whoa.
I was like, wow. Like, that's a crazy number. I mean, you got to remember, European, South American, Asia released shoes, the price tag is different. The U.S. actually, we're very fortunate. We actually paid for the J Balvin. I think retail here was like $170 or $180. In South America, I think the release price in Central America also was like $220.
Jeez.
So yeah, I mean that's a lot more money, and then also you got to consider the money's different there. So the peso and everything is a lot. It's not worth as much as the American dollar, but yeah, I mean it adds up. It's not a cheap shoe to buy. I mean when you're only making $25 a day, I mean that's a lot of money.
Well, there's a lot more to sneaker reselling than just a random old person look at it. People look at it and say like, oh yeah, just buy a sneaker. No, people go everywhere to find these things.
Yeah, I mean we've done South America, Europe. We have yet to do a release in the United States. I don't think we'll ever do that because the power of the U.S. is that I have so many connections. You have so many people here that but who's not against meeting, finding new connections, meeting new people, and I'm not against that. I love traveling, meeting new people, and I'll do that any day. When I have to travel to find new shoes, it's a win-win for me. A little vacation out of it, 4 or 5 days. That's a vacation to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you have employees at this location?
I do, yeah. I have two or three, yeah.
How did you begin to manage their payroll and their everything?
Man, some people don't realize, but when you're young and you got to pay other people to work for you, it adds up, you know.
Definitely.
Payroll taxes, employee taxes. I mean, it's not cheap. I mean, you could pay someone fairly, and then you realize you got to pay taxes, quarterly taxes. You know, it's a lot. It adds up. You can sometimes have anywhere from $300 to $400 in taxes you have to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it adds up.
Have you ever experienced losses at this store?
Many losses.
Many losses. What are some
I
of your
turn
worst?
those losses into wins as much as I can. I feel like when you lose, you learn a lot. You take it in. I mean, I played sports my entire life. Retired now, can't play. But you know, I played soccer since I was like 3, 4, 5 years old, all the way till high school, and then I played football in high school. Played collegiate sport level, and you know, when you lose, you learn. I mean, unless you're just a terrible team. I mean, when I played in college, we were 1-9 in college. Terrible team. You think we learned after the first game? No, you didn't learn until the last. Like, I think the last game of the season was our final win.
Crazy.
But I mean, you learn a little. I mean, obviously that team didn't learn. We were terrible. But listen, sometimes you are put in situations where you meet some of the greatest people. I mean, I don't regret playing college football at all. I met some of the greatest lifetime friends ever. I still stay in contact with them. I think I talk to one of them every day.
Wow.
You know, it's funny how, you know, college, the transition from high school to college, you meet new people and you meet some of the greatest connections. But the losses, yeah, I mean, you learn from them. When the one thing a lot of people don't realize is when you start your website, it's one of the biggest risks because you've now given everyone in the world an opportunity to take what you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into, and you've worked to have that displayed on your website. Now, someone in the middle of nowhere, I mean, you could just say Nigeria or even Japan, wherever, they could be looking at your website, and they can place an online order. And little do you know, a lot of these, what are they called? Those IP addresses, they're like replaced. Right. You can be in the U.S. and you can replace it, say they're in Nigeria. I mean, and all they're doing is just scamming you. That's all they're looking forward to doing.
Definitely.
When I opened my online website, we were like, okay, we're young. You know, we see a $700 or $800 order coming. We're like, let's go. It's lit. You know, we have a new order coming in. Let's ship it out. You know, and I promise all of my clients, I try to ship everything out same day you place the order. We're down the street from UPS, FedEx, USPS. I like to ship all of my products out same day, same time. But when I started doing the online thing, yeah, we were getting a lot of online orders. And our system will tell us if it's fraudulent or not fraudulent, if the IP address matches where your billing address is and everything. It'll tell us. We had taken a pretty big one when we first started. Probably, I would say it was big at the time. It was like $1,700. You lose your money. Obviously, you lose your product. You ship it to them. They'll receive it. And then you contact UPS. And you're like, why'd you drop this package off to this person? They're like, well, it's the online order. Well, UPS actually mistakenly delivered it to the wrong person. That person opened the boxes, and they knew what they had.
Sure.
They know what they have when they have 2 pairs of Mocha Air Jordan 1 Mochas going for like $500-$600. So they kept those, and they had also like a bunch of Bape tees, Bape shirts, Travis Scott merch.
Look at that.
They'll take that, man. Hey, listen, you see that in a box, you're gonna want to keep it.
Right.
You know, but
Yeah, definitely. But
obviously these scammers, they know what they're doing. The guys that have, you know, for me, I mean, respect other people's property. I mean, I get the wrong package. When I started reselling, I had someone's shoes delivered to my home that were from like eBay. It was a pair of Jordans. You know, I saw them and I was like, okay. The package had my name on it, funny enough. But I contacted eBay and I was like, listen, I think you guys shipped this to the wrong person.
Yeah.
So they got me in contact. It was in the area of Naples. It was just the wrong address. I don't know why it registered in my name, but I got in contact with the person myself and I said, listen, here's your shoes. I took them to his house. I delivered them to his house. I was like, listen, sorry, I think they had a miscommunication here, but I've always been about that. Do the right thing. But losses, yeah, I mean, we took a big loss, and we recently had one now in this year in January. We had one last year. Were credit card scammers. They're just walking around with their devices in their pockets, and they're just going to businesses and like gas stations, and they'll read everything around you. They'll take all the card information in your wallet, and they'll retain that. That's why I don't go inside gas stations or any businesses with my wallet. I always have my phone, Apple Pay.
Yeah.
You know, the power of
My wallet.
wireless mobile wallets. You know, that's what it's come to. You don't need to have your wallet everywhere now, man. I mean,
Yeah.
everywhere take. There's only about like 3 places in town that don't take Apple Pay, and one of them's Home Depot down the street.
That's why you gotta.
Home Depot update, and Walmart update your payment
Oh,
system,
yeah.
man. You guys are killing us. I always
why
have
you
to go
gotta-
inside the store with my wallet at Home Depot or Walmart, man. You guys are killing me. But yeah, we had a loss last year. That I think it was like probably I would say like $3,400. Because when you lose your product, you then have to pay back the bank. So we lost $3,500 I think last year. I mean, hey, it is what it is. You just pay it back and move forward, man.
Yeah.
We had one this year. That is ongoing. I mean, it's a process. The ones that do go out of their way to try to scam us, you're taking a big risk on yourself, your reputation, your name. Not only are you messing with a small business, but you're going to get caught because I'm going to do everything I can to find you. And when I do find you, we're going to press charges. So,
Definitely.
you know, it's not a joke. You know, I've taken a lot of time to find my product. And when you want to steal my product and take it from my loyal customers that are in town, we're going to have a problem. And if you are a scammer and you're trying to come to my business, stay away. Because I'm going to do everything that I can to find you. And I'll just have it, I'll have the officers, I'll have police officers take care of it. I don't have anything to do with it. I'm just going to find you, and then we'll just serve you a lawsuit. It is what it is. You know,
Definitely.
don't take something that's not yours and respect others. You know, I mean, that's life. Just respect everyone. We have people that come in all the time and they try to get us. And I can tell right away that you're one. You know, like, when you come in here with a face mask, when we're 3 years after a pandemic, it's very obvious that you're trying to do something illegal. No one wears
And
face
everybody
masks. Come on.
wears a push icy mask.
Yeah, push icy masks, man.
Push icy.
They're not legal in Illinois. Or no, in Philadelphia now.
Yeah.
They're not legal anymore.
Somebody
Oh,
walks
wow.
into your store
Yeah,
with
it's illegal to wear a push icy mask now in Philadelphia. I saw. So yeah, don't walk in here with a push icy mask because I'm
'Cause it
going
looks
to
like
ask
you're
you to
gonna
take it
rob you
off,
with it.
and if you don't take it off, we're going to have problems.
Yeah.
I'll just ask you to leave, or if not, I'll just ask you to see your push icy mask. I'll want to try it on, see how it fits, you know. But yeah, it is what it is, man.
So
Push icy mask. I can't tell you what to wear.
the protection measures inside the store, do you have, you know, the doors obviously, and then you got the cameras.
Listen, we have cameras, we have doors. Take everything you want, man. My life is way more important than these shoes. I don't care. Take them. Take the clothing.
Uh-huh.
If you want to wear a push icy mask, wear it. But I'll just ask you to take it off. But if that's your intention, I can't stop others' intention, man. There's a lot of stores that they get robbed all the time. You know,
Yeah.
it's a loss. You write it as a loss. Move on, man. You can't write a life off as a loss. You can't even write yourself off when you're gone. You know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just let it go. I mean, that shirt, those shoes, the hangers, take it, man. I don't care. My life is way more important. My staff's life is way more important than anything. I'm not gonna argue.
Do you like separate your like business with your home? Because I've seen like some sneaker resellers have like mountains upon mountains of just shoes in their house. It's a mess.
Yeah, so when I get home, I try to escape as much as I can. I love shoes. I have shoes. I have boxes of shoes. But I try to escape. I don't really like to have the mountains of shoes at my home. Because when I get home, I try to go to sleep, rest, watch some little NBA basketball, you know, some
Yeah.
NFL football, you know, watch some sports, just chill, hang out. Not saying that I'll not respond to your message if you respond to us, or if you send us a message asking about an inquiry of an item, I'll respond. But yeah, I like to escape away from the shoe the shoe avenue when I get home. I mean, I like to spend time with family.
That's good.
You know, family's important. I feel like family's always been a big part of where I've gotten today. My parents have supported me along the way a lot. If it wasn't for my parents, I don't know where I would be right now. I mean, they've supported me from a standpoint of, you got this. Like, you know, I've never really wanted to ask them for financial structure of helping me fund this business. Never.
Yeah.
And it never has been that way. A lot of people get that misconception living in Naples, Florida. You know, I have never had to do that. I've done this all on my own. I've done all the work.
That's
I don't
great.
need,
Yeah.
I don't need anyone's help. I just need client support. That's it.
What would be your day in the life of owning this shoe store?
Day in the life. Wake up. Sometimes I'll eat breakfast. Sometimes I won't. I'm not a big breakfast person.
Okay.
I'm a big lunch person.
So you like fast?
Yeah, I kind of. It's not even fast. I mean, it's just like I don't really eat breakfast.
Yeah, that's how I am.
I don't. Listen, a lot of people say it's the most important meal of the day. Personally, to me, I think lunch is the most important meal of the day because sometimes you can sleep in, you know. You're not even hungry. Like, sometimes I just want a smoothie from Wawa. You know, Wawa smoothie smacks. If you haven't got a smoothie from Wawa, go treat yourself to one. They're $5, man. Best $5 you spend in your life. I mean, but yeah, I sometimes I just want a smoothie from Wawa and I'll eat like at 3 or 4. Maybe I won't even eat dinner. I mean, sometimes I'll eat lunch like at 2. Sometimes I'll eat dinner at 5. I mean, you can't control your clientele, man. Like, sometimes I'll heat up my food and I'll just like go to sit and someone walks in and I'm like, dang. Like that happened this week. I was just like telling my employee, someone's going to walk in when I get my food out of the microwave or the air fryer. I hear the bell. Bing! Someone walks in. I'm like, oh, let's go. Let me just leave my food here. I'll be right back. Just cover it up. I'll come back. I don't care, man. I'll eat it cold if I have to. But yeah.
Oh, well, do you like the perks of being a business owner instead of actually working for someone?
I love it, man. I think being 20 years old and being your own boss, like that was pretty cool.
That's
like,
amazing.
Like when you're like waking up and you're like, I'm going to work. You know, like my routine here is, I didn't even answer your question, pardon me. But that routine is literally just showing up. It's almost like the same every day. You show up, you turn the lights on, you kind of walk around, wipe down the counters, make sure that everything looks good, and just go from there. I mean, that's really it. And then just wait till someone walks in, and then, yeah. Could you rephrase your question? I forgot what you said. Sorry.
Well, do you like it being a business owner instead of actually having to work for someone, or you get to create your own schedule? And
it's fun because it's like you always do what you want to do. I mean, like, you can't really complain. I mean, you run your own hours. If you want to clock out right now, you can clock out.
Yeah.
I mean, but I love it. I mean, there's nothing else I would do. I mean, I wouldn't change. I would never go back to working under someone because, you know, I make my own decisions and I make some good ones, you know, because the good ones actually get me to where I'm at. And those great decisions that I make grow this business every day. And that's what's leading us into our second location eventually. My goal is to open one here in the next year and a half. So
wow.
I'll be announcing it soon. So for those wondering, I hope to see you at the grand opening.
I'll be there.
It'll be a great event. Maybe we'll have to do a podcast maybe for the grand opening, you know, maybe soft opening. I don't know. We'll see. We'll plan something up. But yeah.
If you could talk to your younger self again, what would you tell him?
Oh man. You know, I wouldn't really I wouldn't give myself a little bit more advice. I would not. Because that younger self version of myself has made me the person I am today. The only thing I would do different would be probably plan things a little better. That's it. I feel like when you're young, you make a lot of decisions, fast ones.
Definitely.
Not stupid decisions. You know, you just make decisions. You know,
Right.
Nothing is stupid in life that you decide to do if you see the end of the path. You know, if you see your goals and you know what you're gonna do, go for it, man.
Yeah, just like a podcast.
Yeah, you've got nothing to lose. Right. You know, like there's nothing wrong with sitting with an individual and having a conversation and asking them questions. Like I've got answers for you. You know, and if you had to, just go out and have fun, man. I mean, life's too short. Enjoy it.
Definitely.
I'm 24. I mean, I'm still young. I try to enjoy life as much as I can. You know, there's something else besides 4 walls when I leave this place. You know, so.
Well, it's honestly crazy to see you're 24 and owning a place like this.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
It's rewarding, man. I mean, I put a lot of work in.
Yeah.
I can say that I've put the work in to get to where I am now. And I'm not done. You know, I'm not satisfied. I feel like Steps has a lot more to do. The goal is probably eventually to have maybe 5 to 10 stores.
Yeah.
All over the country. I mean, maybe 20. I mean, who knows? But growing is definitely a process. You gotta, little by little, step by step. You'll see if you're dedicated and you put the work in. You'll see, you'll earn. You'll make your money and you'll see some winning. But it takes time.
Is this going to be your life's work?
I would say that I think with Steps, I see it growing here in the next 10 years a lot. I don't know if I'll do it forever.
Yeah.
I'll probably shadow it eventually when it gets to a point where I can have a trusted staff, a management, I would say.
Right.
Not saying that I wouldn't trust my staff now. I do.
Mm.
I can take 2 days off if I had to, or 3, but I would get bored out of my mind. It's always working. But yeah, I mean, I see myself doing something eventually. I don't know, probably real estate, owning properties. I mean,
Yeah. Real estate
there's
is the move.
there's different avenues you can make money. Is real estate for me now? I mean, I'm young, so I like to be where my business and where my money's invested. So if I can be there all the time, then yeah, I'll invest in it. But real estate's one of those things where you don't have to be there to make money. But I'm young, I want to be able to be there to see my money grow on its own, because no one's gonna ever run your business the way you run your business. No one's ever going to do a greater job than yourself. You are the image of your business, and thankfully I became the image of Steps from a distance. I don't really post myself on social media to be the owner. I mean, not many people really know who the owner is. I don't really have any pictures of myself on the main page, but
Yeah.
so yeah.
Well, again, when you advertise on YouTube Shorts, maybe you could.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I will. I mean,
Because
it's different. When you want to be the center of attention, to me, I don't want to, man. I really don't. I'll point it to the shoes. I don't really like to be the
Right,
attention of
yeah.
this. I mean, I'm not selling. I'm only selling the shoes. The shoes are the
Yeah.
ones that are doing all the talking. I just stand here and just deliver the message and just
Yeah.
deliver customer service, man. I mean, Steps is just special, man. It's I don't really have to do much talking for Steps.
Right.
Steps can do it all.
Yeah.
I mean, your own personality, really. You don't gotta put on anything. These guys usually just their own personality.
Yeah,
just
man,
put it
you
on.
you really don't. I mean,
really
when you're
expand
just a person, you're a
Yeah.
cool, level-headed man or person, individual, woman.
Yeah.
You do all the delivery. I mean, it's very simple.
Mhm.
So
Well, if you can give one piece of advice to all the future entrepreneurs of the world, what would it be?
oh man, I would say one piece of advice that I give a lot of entrepreneurs that are going to start something: have capital, have something. You have to have a safety net. It's very difficult when you want to start something and you see what you have, but the financials aren't there. That's difficult. It's not easy to start a business.
Yeah.
I would say have anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000. Have some money invested in some. You can have $10,000 saved, but just have a safety net, because money can be gone like that. I mean, you can have someone, if you have an online website, take $10,000 worth of your items, and then you're out, and then you're like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So yeah, have enough money, have enough capital, have support. Support's the best. If you have a family friend, if you have your parents, if you don't have your parents, you have grandparents. You don't have grandparents, you have a girlfriend, you don't have a boyfriend. Figure that out. Have that financial structure. Have just not the money, but the structure of the support around you, the team you need to build. A lot of people that start a business want to have a team. To me, it's been great to have a staff, but sometimes your staff needs its time away from work.
Yeah.
They have a life.
Right.
Everyone has a life. You want to escape from where you're at, and that's the best thing. But have a financial structure. Have enough money saved up, because it could get scary. I mean, to me, I opened it in a pandemic. I had nothing to lose. Everyone was losing. The only thing you were winning was stimulus checks. That was the only thing you were
You
winning.
probably made money during the pandemic.
Yeah, and I mean, even those $1,200 you were getting on a stimulus check were not even enough. But
Yeah.
listen, I made the best out of it. I invested my money the right way. I paid my bills. I've paid all my ways. I've tried. I stuck through it. I made it. The only thing from here on out is moving forward. Can't even look back anymore. But COVID year, that was the year, man. Those were the days. I'll be able to tell my kids someday how that was. It was scary.
Global pandemic.
Yeah, man, that was scary. But
is.
it's crazy, like, if you look at people back then and they're walking around with hazmat suits and you're like, oh my God. Like, like, that was weird. Like, you go out in public and you see someone, you're like, dang, I feel so bad for this person. Like, it was scary, you know?
Definitely.
Feels different looking back now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you didn't, if you had COVID, you made it through, man. I mean, I think everyone had it at least once or twice.
I had it twice.
I think I had it like probably 3 times. I probably knew I had it once. Like I knew I had it 3 times. Like I could feel it, but I could just tell. Like off the first one, I was like, oh, what is this? Like I went to go get a chicken tender sub, or like I think someone delivered me a chicken tender sub, and I went to go bite into it. I was like, can't even taste anything. Like pub subs, bro, those things smack. Nothing better than a pub sub, you know.
Yeah, that was the part.
Especially when it's like a buffalo chicken one. My
You
God.
wouldn't even feel sick before you would get it. You just wouldn't be able to taste or smell anything.
And then you're just like,
oh no.
spicy jalapeno chips, no taste. Wait, what?
One chip
Like,
challenge? No
no taste.
One
Like,
chip challenge.
COVID, yeah. You better have COVID if you're gonna have that one chip challenge, man. And not taste that. That thing is
It's gonna
hot.
clear your sinuses though.
Yeah, that thing is hot.
From first-hand experience.
You know, it's funny because those things actually had like resale value, like at a
yeah.
point.
They do?
Yeah, they had like I think they were like $8 or $9 at like 7-Eleven. People were selling them on like Amazon for like $25.
Oh yeah, I think I bought one for $20.
Yeah,
It was awful.
We actually had like 3 or 4 of them, and we like had them in store for like $15, and clients were buying them because like they were sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
So like clients were coming in, they were like, one chip challenge. I was like, listen, take the chip, get out. I have nothing to do with this. I'm gonna warn you, it's hot. I had like a piece, like a little tiny piece, and it was so hot, bro. Like, and I can have spice, like I'll have like some tolerance, but man, that thing was hot.
Me and him split one.
I had a
It's
piece
hot.
like this big, and it was just like slur over my.
Yeah,
shirt.
man, that thing was hot. Like,
Yeah.
definitely not. I mean, it's definitely not a hot Cheeto. Whoever thinks it's a hot Cheeto is crazy. Hot
Hot
Cheetos
Cheetos
is
even
nothing.
hot.
Or like, what are they? The little Takis. There
Yeah,
you go.
Takis,
Yeah,
yeah.
nothing on that thing. That thing was hot.
No, those are
So
incomparable to.
Well, I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Who did your artwork in here? We'll show
So,
on the
yeah,
podcast right now, but
I want to give a special shout out to Christian Nuno. He goes by he actually changed his name a few times. He's like Astro Art on Instagram. He's an amazing artist.
yeah.
I mean, Christian can draw up anything. He's actually working on a few projects for me right now. We're in the works of doing an anniversary merch drop for this upcoming 3-year anniversary on August 1st. We'll have our clothing drop, which we will be dropping some more information on the clothing drop coming up in August. He's phenomenal. I mean, he's got art pieces all over the store. I'm a very loyal individual. If you've done any work for me or anything for my business to have this thing grow, I'm going to make sure I keep you in my corner and we grow together. Christian's going to do all the artwork for all of my locations forever. I will never replace him for any artwork. I'm very loyal. My interior designer, Erica, she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, she's put this store well together. I mean, she's little by little, she's throwing me some advice and said, hey, toss this in there. And, you know, we have a new glass piece in store, which that's awesome. We just got that recently. So we're always tweaking it, changing. We're always adding new pieces. We're going to be getting some new art pieces in here, some new artwork. It molds together with, like, all the art in here and all the color. That was the reason behind going with the structure of this business being all white inside and having different colors. But it pops. All the colors pop in here. The neon sign, the neon design lady, I think her name is on Instagram, does a great job. She's from Naples. If you're looking for a neon sign, support local businesses, man. I definitely advise that. What else?
What's your name?
Neon Design, I think it is on Instagram. I'd have to find it. I think it's Neon Design Lady or Neon. I follow her on Instagram. So if you go on my followers, we follow her. It's like Neon Signs. She does all the neon art or neon designs for Glow. Yeah, she does a great job. Astro Art, Christian. We've got a few clothing lines in store that are small businesses, one of them being Proven Radiant, based out of Philadelphia. We've got Antisocial. Those are big-time companies. But we've got like Proven Radiant, we've got Supreme, we've got Antisocial, Bape, Eric Emanuel shorts, Carhartt shirts. We've got a lot, man.
Yeah.
So in the beginning of the store, right, it looks like you have this like very special Jordan 11 that's signed. What's that about?
So that's a great question because The Jordan 11, I remember in the beginning we were speaking actually about Tinker Hatfield. Tinker Hatfield is such a great icon. I mean, Tinker Hatfield actually visited Naples, Florida. I think it was in 2021. And I had a client that he was at work, and he was like, I think I just saw Tinker Hatfield. I'm like, what are you talking about? I think I just saw him. And I'm like, that's crazy. What is he doing in Naples? He's like, oh, he's going out on the boat. He's just here in Naples. And I'm like, that's dope. Should we probably like arrange a meet? You know, like run into him coincidentally, like when he gets off the boat, like later in the day. And he's like, I mean, not opposed to that. You know, I was like, okay. So that was one of those times where it's like connections. Like we go back to, we talk about these connections of knowing all these people. And when he told me that Tinker was in town, I was like, we got to do something special, man. And he was like, I just need a pair of Jordans. I'm like, I don't want just a pair of Jordans for Tinker to sign. We're going to do everything we can to find you a Jordan, and a special one. So I call one of my buddies. He's an hour away, and I go, Tinker Hatfield's in town. I need a pair of Jordans, not just Jordans, Tinker Hatfield Jordan 3. And my buddy had two pairs. One happened to be my client's size, the one that had just seen Tinker Hatfield. And my buddy goes, if Tinker's in town, I'm bringing my other Tinker Hatfield, and he's going to have to sign them both. I was like, let's do it. So my buddy arranges, he comes to town, and my other friend comes and he picks up the Tinker Hatfields that are his, that he's purchasing from my buddy to have Tinker sign them. And he goes, do you want Tinker to sign anything? I was like, sure. Here's a pair of Jordan 11s that it's one of the most iconic Jordan 11s, the Brett 11.
Oh.
And obviously everyone knows the Brett 11s.
Yeah.
But the Brett 11s, pop up a picture here. The Brett 11s have so much history behind them. And Tinker, actually, it's actually one of Tinker's favorite designs that he actually made. The colorway, actually, the silhouette. So when I thought about it, I was like, Tinker Hatfield, that's one of his favorite shoes. Take my Brett 11s. And my buddy takes the Brett 11s, all the Tinkers. And when Tinker actually gets off the boat, my buddy's standing right in front of him, and he's wearing the Tinker 3s. And he's like, oh, my God, you're wearing my shoes. He's like, yeah, I love your shoes. And he's like, would you be, opposed to signing some of my shoes? And he's like, no. I'll sign anything you want. I don't care. So Tinker signed like everything. He signed all the shoes. He signed a little sketch pad. I mean, he was
awesome.
Super nice. And he took pictures with him. He took videos. Great story. We have pictures. We have the videos for the shoes. And it's one of the nicest things I think I've ever been a part of. Just, satisfying a client that he was like, Tinker Hatfield's in town, and I call someone.
Yeah.
He had a pair of Tinkers. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like right then and there, like right. You can find a pair of Tinker 3s. Like, they're pretty hard to find because I think they came out like in 2018, I think it was, or 2017. So for you to find a pair, I mean, it's 2021. I mean, 3 years later, I mean, that's pretty tough.
That is.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I have some crazy stories. I've been to some cool events. We've ran into some great individuals. I mean, ran into the baby, DJ Khaled.
Wow.
Ran into...
Well, DJ Khaled's everywhere.
Yeah, he's everywhere. Ran into... Who's the other one? I think it was... No, Lil Pump? Is it Lil Pump?
Probably Lil Pump.
Lil Pump, yeah.
Probably
Seen him at SneakerCon. Who else? I've seen a few guys. Kevin Garnett. That's another one. Yeah, I mean, we see a few individuals at events. I respect them, man. I think that I'll stay away from them as much as I can. I know that their lifestyle is difficult. Being around all these people, always running up on them. But
oh, definitely.
I'll see them from afar, and I'll just be like, that's cool. You see these people in person, and you're like, wow. DJ Khaled's a lot shorter than I thought he would be. He's a pretty short guy. He's not that tall. But, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's a very fascinating industry that I work in. So, but we have a few celebrities that have walked in. I mean, I don't like to let everyone know where they're visiting when they're in town, but yeah, we have a few guys that have walked in and purchased some shoes from us. I have a great friend that played in the NFL, Michael Walker. He's from Naples.
Oh, yeah.
So he's born and raised in Naples, played football. I played football with him at Naples. So he's well known. He played with the Eagles. He played with the Jags.
Yeah, he played on the Jags.
So we have a few guys that come on in, but they're nice people, man. I just like to respect them. They have their reasons to not want to be surrounded by people all the time. They're a celebrity, man. People. Yeah. Some people
do you
get
ever
a little
do those types of things? Because there's a YouTube channel who it's a shoe store just like this, but they exclusively bring in like celebrities and they buy a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I think it's
yeah. So
it's in Britain.
I won't really video or take any photos.
Oh, yeah.
Personally, I don't.
They need their personal space.
They want their personal space, man. When you get to that level of probably the story referring to Cool Kicks, I think that they're obviously paying the individual to show up.
And that's the whole business.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool and everything, but personally to me, I mean, you're just another individual, man. I mean, I don't think you're any better than me or anyone else.
Right.
So for me to have to pay you to come into my store, I don't care. Like, I'm not that person. If you want to go out of your way to come visit my store, feel free.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't done that. I do have private hours where we will lock the store up and we'll make sure that you can shop comfortably.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we've had that happen before, but no, I don't like to be all up in their face with the camera, man. I like to respect people. I mean, respect me the way that I'll respect you. So exactly. I mean, they're gonna respect me. They're not gonna come into my store and take a video of me. Like, hey, you know, like they're not coming in here like taking a video of me doing my thing, you know. So think about it in their footsteps. Like, they don't want to be constantly with a camera in their face. I mean,
if I would never want that.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool and everything, but it's like, you know, you got to think about it in their standpoint. Like, imagine they come into your business and they're taking a video. You're like, okay, like, that's kind of weird. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of our clients, they always ask, like, hey, can I take pictures? Of course you can. Like, you have the right to take video of pictures or anywhere you want. I don't care. You know, it's just a store.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when I'm all set and done, man, when I'm gone, it's just a store. I don't care, man. Yeah. I mean, no one knows when your time is, but it's just a store.
Yeah.
It's a beauty. Beauty of life.
Well, I think we got to start ending soon. We're past an hour.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you guys.
I appreciate it. You want to shout out your company on?
Yeah. Feel free to follow us on social media on Instagram _Steps Shoe Retailer. We're on TikTok. Got to get back on my TikTok posts, man. I've been slacking on those. We are on YouTube. We still have some old YouTube videos there, so feel free to watch those. Facebook, give us a like, thumbs up, and I don't know. Leave us a Google review. Gosh, Google reviews help, man. Google reviews are great. Especially for small businesses. I think we have close to 100 reviews. We have a great rating. Customer service is great. So, you know, a lot of clients, they leave us a little feedback on there. But, yeah, feel free to find us on all platforms. Our website, our website, actually, pardon me, is www.stepsshoeretailer.com. Shop all the exclusive clothing, shoes, accessories.
Link in the description.
Yeah, link in the description. And make sure to follow these guys on social media. These kids are doing a great job, man. They're young cats out here just trying to start a podcast in Southwest Florida that, you know,
just trying to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, we're gonna actually support them as much as we can, and we're gonna do our part with shouting them out and putting them on our social media so we can try to get them some more following behind this. But support you guys through it. I appreciate you guys taking the time.
Nice speaking with you.
Pleasure.
And
you guys.
And a big thank you to JVR Air Conditioning for sponsoring this video.
Yep.
Awesome.
'Cause the vibes is right.